Games Live Update Podcast Episode 01. Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are taking you through a really fascinating explainer that unpacks the incredible and sometimes totally unbelievable journey of turning a simple slip of paper into a massive fortune. Because let's be honest, we have all had that daydream, right? Staring at a little ticket in your hand, just wondering if your whole world is about to completely flip upside down.
Absolutely. We are so pumped to share this explainer with you today. We're going to explore the wild life cycle of winning lottery tickets right here in Michigan. It's this shared fantasy we all have, but the reality behind it is a massive, highly regulated logistical machine. We'll be looking at exactly how people are winning, the totally fascinating business operating behind the scenes, and the sobering realities of what actually happens to your bank account when you finally hit that jackpot. So let's jump right into this.
Now, to kick things off, let me pose a quick scenario to you. What would you do if you bought a scratch-off ticket and won 30 bucks? Would you just pocket the cash and maybe treat yourself to a nice lunch? Or would you risk it all again right there at the counter? Man, that is tough. Honestly, most people, myself included, would probably just take the money and run. 30 bucks is 30 bucks, it pays for gas. But there is a story of a 39-year-old woman from Genesee County that perfectly illustrates what happens when you decide to totally ignore that instinct and reinvest. She was out celebrating Cinco de Mayo with a friend, and she wasn't even planning on playing the lottery that day. But on a total whim, she played and won a humble $30. Right, most of us would stop right there, say thank you, and walk away. But instead of leaving, she took that $30 and boldly decided to roll the dice one more time.
And her decision brilliantly illustrates why taking a chance sometimes pays off in a truly massive way. She took her $30 of winnings straight to the liquor wheel over on Clio Road in Flint. With that cash, she purchased 2 more of the $5 Lucky Stars instant game tickets. And she didn't even wait to get home. She scratched those tickets right there inside the store. When she saw the result on the second ticket, she completely lost it. She actually ran out to her car crying because the realization hit her instantly. That $5 piece of paper was a $1 million winner. It is literally a Cinco de Mayo miracle. Think about that emotional leap for a second, going from just celebrating a casual holiday with a friend to suddenly having the means to buy your parents a brand new house and a car, which, by the way, is exactly what she planned to do.
Now, what's really interesting here is that she isn't the only one relying on the power of the multiple ticket strategy. We have another incredible success story of a 48-year-old man from Ann Arbor.
Oh, I love this one. This guy stopped at the Main Street convenience store and bought 3 tickets. His first 2 tickets, complete duds. Nothing at all, 0. I think most of us would feel pretty defeated after scratching 2 losing tickets in a row and just walk out, right? But his third ticket secured a $1 million prize. He said it finally gave his family a true sense of financial security and, most importantly, secured his kids' college funds so they won't ever have to worry about student debt. It really fuels that classic gambler's fallacy that the third time is the charm.
So for instant scratch-offs, it's all about being in the right place at the exact right time. But that brings us to the draw games, which poses a totally different question. Where do people actually get their winning numbers?
It's a great question, isn't it? People have all sorts of wild methods. Some people use birthdays, some use anniversaries. Mathematicians will actually tell you to use completely random computer-generated numbers so you don't end up having to split the jackpot with someone who happens to share your exact birthday. But an unbelievable Powerball win in Fraser, Michigan defies every single bit of that logic.
You have got to hear what 56-year-old Stephen Hugheskin said about his win. Quote, "About 30 years ago, I was in Las Vegas and got a fortune from a Zoltar machine. On my fortune, there was a set of lucky numbers."
I mean, this is straight out of a Hollywood movie. He actually took those exact numbers from a vintage fortune-telling machine and played them consistently for 3 decades. 30 years of dedication to a novelty fortune. And guess what? On an April 22nd drawing, he matched all 5 white balls, 24, 29, 32, 49, and 63.
That Zoltar machine handed him a $1 million prize 30 years in advance. He checked his email the next morning, yelled to his wife, and literally couldn't even believe it was real.
All right, moving into part 1, the opportunity. What's still out there? Stories like Steven's and our scratch-off winners are incredibly inspiring.
But it naturally makes you wonder about the tickets sitting in stores right at this very moment, because these games don't just stop because someone hit a jackpot.
Exactly. The state constantly updates their remaining prize inventory, and the volume of life-changing money just waiting to be scratched is staggering. Just looking at the remaining prizes, the very same Lucky Stars game that minted our Cinco de Mayo millionaire still has 2 top prizes of $1 million left in circulation out of the original 3.
That is wild. The opportunity is still very much alive. And it's not just the $1 million ones either. Take Fireball Bingo, for example. It's another $5 ticket, and it currently has all 3 of its top $300,000 prizes still out there, completely unclaimed. There are millions of active tickets across dozens of games sitting in gas stations and grocery stores right now, just waiting.
Which brings us to part 2, the enablers, the business of selling hope.
Behind every single winning ticket is the store that sold it. We can't fully grasp this whole ecosystem without examining the hidden economics of the lottery retailers, the folks who actually sell these life-changing pieces of paper. What is their actual incentive to push these games so hard? Why are they considered such an absolutely crucial product for major chain stores? Well, the retailer benefits are seriously lucrative. They get a flat 6% commission on every single ticket sold, win or lose. On top of that, if you win a small prize and redeem it at their location, they get a 2% commission on that redemption. And the absolute best part for the store owner is that if they sell a massive top prize or jackpot winning ticket, they're entitled to huge bonus commissions. So a life-changing payday for a player is also a fantastic, potentially business-altering payday for the store. Plus, it's great for the state too. 29 cents of every single dollar spent on lottery products goes directly to the state's school aid fund to support public schools.
However, you can't just rent a storefront and start selling tickets tomorrow. The state tightly controls this network to maintain integrity.
Right. The vetting process is surprisingly strict. I mean, think about it. They even run a credit check just to let you sell lottery tickets. To become a licensed seller, applicants have to submit a $150 fee, prove they can maintain an acceptable credit history, and undergo a comprehensive criminal background check. They have to know you are completely trustworthy before handing over their product.
Exactly. It is definitely not a quick rubber stamp. That entire rigorous approval process takes a mandatory 7 to 10 business days before a store can even print their very first ticket.
And now for part 3, the reality check. You won. Now what?
Okay, so let's bring this conversation completely back down to earth. Let's say you actually beat the astronomical odds. You bought the ticket, the retailer got their commission, and you are officially holding a jackpot winner in your hand. What actually happens next? Winning is pure emotion, but claiming the prize is a very sobering, highly structured logistical process.
Yes, there are very specific steps you must take to protect yourself and your new fortune. Here is the essential winner's protocol straight from the officials. Step 1, sign the back of that ticket immediately to establish ownership. Step 2, and we really cannot emphasize this enough, keep it completely offline.
They explicitly instruct winners, do not share pictures of the ticket with others, and absolutely do not post images of it on social media. You want to keep that piece of paper in a highly secure place. Doing this prevents theft, stops scammers from targeting you, and keeps long-lost relatives from suddenly appearing at your front door asking for favors. And step 3 is crucial. Before you start buying houses and cars, consult an accountant or tax attorney to understand your actual financial standing.
Now, when it comes to privacy, the rules shift depending on the game you play, which explains a lot about the stories we covered earlier. State law allows players who win more than $10,000 on state-only games to remain completely anonymous.
Exactly, which is why our Ann Arbor and Genesee County scratch-off winners stayed entirely hidden from the public eye. They got their money in total peace.
But for multi-state games like Powerball or Mega Millions, the state defers to the rules of those specific games, which require the winners' names to be public.
That's why we know Stephen Hughesgen, the Zoltar machine winner, by name.
His incredible win was a Powerball prize, so he couldn't hide it. But wait, before you even get to check, the state is going to do a little digging of their own. For any prize of $1,000 or more, state law requires a debt check. The state always makes sure it gets its money first.
It's true. This is a really surprising caveat for a lot of people. The lottery checks directly with the Department of Treasury. If you have unpaid child support, back taxes, delinquent fees to the Secretary of State, or pretty much any other state debts, they will deduct it directly from your prize before paying you out. They can and will withhold up to the full amount of your win to settle those debts. It is a very sudden reality check for anyone with outstanding bills.
And assuming you are totally debt-free, you still aren't getting the big advertised number. Let's talk about the math. Look at this number, $693,000. Just let that sink in for a second.
When you win a $1 million prize and you opt to receive it as a one-time lump sum payment, rather than an annuity stretched out over decades, this is the actual sobering number you take home. Both the Ann Arbor man and the Genesee County woman proudly walked away with exactly $693,000 from their $1 million jackpots. The fantasy of a cool million suddenly looks just a little bit different, doesn't it?
Breaking it down, you can see exactly why the payout drops so significantly. The taxman always gets his cut first. Instantly, before the money even reaches your account, the lottery is required to withhold 24% for federal income taxes.
Right, and then another 4.25% is automatically withheld for Michigan state income tax. That instantly shrinks your advertised jackpot by nearly 30%, leaving you with just under 72% as your take-home lump sum. And remember, that initial withholding might not even cover your total tax liability for the entire year depending on your personal tax bracket, which is exactly why consulting that tax professional we mentioned earlier is absolutely critical.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, we want to leave you with something to really ponder. Seeing that flashy $1 million headline shrink down to a logistical reality, we have to ask, would a $693,000 lump sum fundamentally change your life, or would losing over $300,000 to taxes right off the bat sting just a little too much? It's definitely a massive perspective shift. It is absolutely life-changing money, there's no doubt about it, but the reality is much more structured, vetted, and heavily taxed than the simple fantasy of scratching a ticket. Thank you so much for joining us on this explainer today, learning how the Michigan Lottery transforms dreams into highly regulated realities. We will catch you next time.